why freight dispatchers can't land a carriers. We'll be talking about ins and outs of this problem, and then obviously you guys know the drilling. You guys will be asking questions at the end, and I'll do my best to help you. One thing is that I got COVID and I tested, and it is a positive. And what is it? Is like I'm losing my voice, but I'll do my best to help you getting the carriers. And trust me, and if you watch till the end, and obviously you'll be asking questions how to get carriers. I was in Turkey for about I would say 65 days. In exact days, about 65 days. I was in Turkey, and then most of my students who are located in Turkey, we met. And if you're watching right now, hello to you guys. And we talked about this number one problem and why they can't get carriers. I met with one of my friends in Turkey, and then we sat down and we talked about for about two hours and talking about the problem, how the business owners they can't land the carriers. Maybe they're landing carriers or customers on a daily basis, but then obviously they're losing within I don't know a couple of months, 3 months or 4 months, and then they're clients they're leaving them. Well, think about independent freight dispatchers. Carriers leave them. So what we trying to do is obviously keep them in the game for about at least 6 months, so generate some revenue, and obviously so that we can take some of the money and invest and pay that so that we can get more clients. And obviously this is how we scale, the independent freight dispatching business. I was talking to this, and obviously he owns a marketing agency. He has hundreds of, high-paying clients, and obviously he also helps me with the marketing. And we sat down and I said, listen, there are a lot of independent freight dispatchers, and obviously we teach inside the training how to, land carriers. But then we said a lot of, people out there asking questions, sending emails, and then you guys, YouTube subscribers asking questions. How can I get a carrier? So that is a number one problem. So they don't know how to get a carriers. Think about, maybe you're thinking, so the problem might be maybe it's a script that you're talking to your carriers, or you using that script and you're talking to your carriers. Maybe it's the way you set up your business, maybe hiring process, maybe it's an operational problem, maybe it's a marketing problem, maybe it's a sales problem, maybe it's a leadership problem. You're right on those. Yes, those might be the problems, but then obviously there's a number one problem why people, meaning independent freight dispatchers, specifically we're talking about independent freight dispatchers, they can't land a carrier. So I was talking to this friend who owns a marketing agency, and I said, listen, a lot of people asking this question, and why is that? Why? They have beautiful websites, they have the expertise. Some of my students, they have about I don't know, they had independent freight dispatching business, and obviously they wanted to scale, and then I mentored them or I coached them, and then they had about 10 years of experience. Some of them, let's say 12 years of experience, and then they have problem getting clients on a consistent basis. And think about, we'll also be talking about the lead gen, generating leads for your business. But then think about this, and I said, why is that? And he shared something very, very powerful and said, there is a physician, there is a doctor. He said, he approached me and said, hey, the website that we have is outdated. We want you to build a website and obviously write the script and build the lead gen. And for those of you who don't know the lead gen, and please ask me and I'll do my best to help. And he said, we created a website, and this physician treats diabetes, and he has about 27 years, almost 30 years of experience. He's really good at what he does, but then obviously he needs more appointments, right? So there are a lot of people, millions of people around the world. In the United States, there are a lot, one of the deadliest, I think, disease is diabetes, and then there are millions of people suffering from diabetes. And then he says, we can obviously get more traffic to our website, and we can get appointments for this doctor. And said, listen, this is the plan that I have for you. And then this marketing agency tells to a doctor, he says, we'll create 2 websites. And for those of you who are creating a website, think twice. If you miss this, trust me, about 99.99%, your website won't get carriers. Trust me. If you have a website right now, and if you're not getting carriers, this is why. And we'll be talking about right now. So think about, and it says, we'll create two websites. One, it will be all about you, meaning your expertise, your name, the years of educations you have. For example, the I don't know, bachelor's degree, and then this university, and then you have this medical, education from this accredited, I don't know, school or university, and then you have this 15, 20 years or 30 years of experience. And we'll be talking about you, then we'll be talking about your team, meaning how long you've been in business, meaning running your practice. Think about your physician assistants and nurses and your team in general. And then obviously at the end, we'll talk about what you do and then how people can schedule a call with you or schedule an appointment with you so that you can treat them. And again, this doctor treats diabetes. So he said, then I'll be creating a variation. So I'll be sharing the statistics that he gave me, and it will shock you that one single thing. Maybe it's very simple, but think about it. This will change the game. And so they will create. The marketing agency tells the doctor, we will create a variation. Variation. Think about, you have the original website and you have exact same thing, but then the wording on a website, or what we call is the copy or the sales copy, meaning words on your website, is different. So the main point for the original is talking about all about the credits he has, meaning the doctor, his name, and then right next to his name is MD, meaning medical doctor, this many years of education, whatnot. So then obviously the variation will be all about the problem, talking about the problem, not mentioning the doctor, all the way through, talking about the solutions, and at the end, a little bit, talking about the credits, or giving the credits to a doctor, and then how they can schedule a call. How they can schedule a call is the call to action. So now, marketing agency asked this doctor, says, what do you think? Will original website will perform or outperform the variation, or the variation will outperform the original, website that you guys have? And doctor says, trust me, over the years, that about 30 years of experience, is what I saw. People will trust, if you have an experience, if you have, let's say, the results that you have for your patients. And I think the original will outperform the variation. And in the marketing agency, and the doctor asked the marketing agency, what do you think? And he said, well, 100% sure that variation will outperform. And doctor said, why is 100%? And he said, we've been doing it for years. And the way you designed and the way you worded your website, and obviously they've not outperformed the variations. So variation is basically, the theme it goes like this. You talk about the problems, right? The problem is the diabetes. And guys, I know that we're talking about the medicine, but think about, this is very powerful. And we will apply this to a freight dispatch or any other businesses if you're running. Think about if you're running e-commerce, any store, or Etsy or something like that. This will change the game. Trust me, it's 100% honesty, total transparency. The only thing I need, in return is if you can subscribe and just, hit this like button, and that will be enough for me. So then they'll be talking about the problem. Problem is diabetes, and how this problem can affect the day-to-day life of a patient, and then obviously talking about the solution, how they can get treated and how they can get treated. And then at the end, they'll be talking about a little bit about the physician, and then obviously a little bit about the team that he has, and obviously the years of experience he has. By just saying this, you start realizing that something is changing, and you kind of leaned towards the variation already. And here's why. Because in human nature, if we face a problem, we're looking for a solution. And maybe you're watching first time. And by the way, if you're watching this first time, please subscribe. We talk about freight dispatching business and business in general. So think about this variation, and let's go to the point. Let's go to the point. Now, I'm kind of in a detailed person. I want to kind of I need to kind of break it down so that you can learn from this, because this is awesome. This is the game changer. and they run the paid ads. They run the paid ads, more specifically Facebook ads, and obviously the marketing agency, they were right, and the variation outperformed the original. And obviously physician shocked and seeing that, wow, you're not mentioning, and it's a long sales script. Think about it, talks about the problem and how this problem can affect the day-to-day life of a patient, and then they talk about the solution. They're not even talking about the physician itself. Then he was kind of shocked that, wow. And marketing agency said, remember and trust me, we can just remove you from your website, and then people will be scheduling a call with you, or we can just put your name. It's MD Dr. David, and it's right next to your name. Is we can put the name, the MD, and then this is how they can schedule a call with you. And they will be scheduling a call with you, meaning scheduling an appointment with you so that you can treat them. This is how it goes. It's when they were running Facebook ads, and then the landing page says something like this, like, hey, one of the deadliest, disease, I don't know the exact wording, but this is, how it sounds. Deadliest disease is diabetes. And do you know this? And then a little bit of the research they have done, and how many, people are dying each day or something like that. And why is that? Why they're, bringing this problem is just that the patient should be hooked so that they can read, right? Majority of us, think about last time you visited, any website. What we were doing is we're just scanning the website, right? If there's a problem and then we're looking for a solution, we'll be reading it word by word. Don't you agree? Right? It's like you're reading it word by word because you are in pain and you're looking for a solution. And exactly the same thing. And obviously, yes, for those of you who don't know marketing, maybe you're saying that, hey, Kamal, yes, they're super targeted. They're targeting the people who have diabetes, and obviously those people clicked, landed on a website, and it talks about the problem and how they can get the solution, meaning the treatment from this doctor, and then there is a schedule a call or book an appointment. You got the idea. Now, if you have a website, if you have your website, and if you are an independent freight dispatcher, just go to your website right now and you just take a look. Is it the original website, or is the variation that we talked about? Think about, are you talking about yourself? How awesome you are? How many years of experience you have? How many team members you have, right? How many carriers you have, and how many loads you booked? Think about it. Or you are talking about the problem. For example, I was a carrier and I was in the flatbed market. And one of the number one, I think, problem for carriers is obviously finding loads, but then there is another problem, is finding drivers, meaning retaining drivers, training drivers. The problems are endless, right? And think about, if you are an independent freight dispatcher and you are helping carriers find high-paying loads, why don't you start with, think about, if I'm a flatbed owner, or I'm a carrier in the flatbed market, you're running some Facebook ads or organic marketing, and I landed on your website, and it says, if you are a flatbed owner, and one of the the problems that they have is the low paying loads because X, Y, and Z, and you talk about how that will affect the business that I run, how that will affect everything in my business, and obviously there is a solution, and then you obviously have the treatment, right? So, or the solution, how you, if that is a problem, and this is how the solution we're talking about, and how you will be fixing this problem. You're talking about that, and then obviously a little bit about you. If you have a team, then if you have an experience, then you talk about a little bit about you, and then there is a call to action. Call to action is schedule a call with you. And I teach this inside the training with my students. I said, listen, carriers, they don't buy products. They don't buy products when you are offering independent freight dispatching business. They're looking for a solution for their business, right? So they're not buying a product, say add to cart, and then go to, let's say, checkout page and then buy, that's it, you receive a payment. No. So if it's not that, then how you're getting carriers is by scheduling a call so that you can have the Zoom call like this live. You're talking to your carrier, talking more about their problems, and then offering your solutions. And obviously, this is how you get carriers. Trust me, I met a lot of my students. I've been in a couple of countries, and then they're running the physical the location. I visited the physical location of my students. They're running the business, and again, this is the number one problem. And how you can test me right now, as I said, go to your website and just take a look. Like, I'm not 100% sure that I'm about 95% sure that your website talks about your company, about you, how awesome you are, how many experience you have, the market you are serving, and then how many clients you have, how many miles your drivers, I don't know, driven, or the loads booked or something like that. You scan your website, and that is the number one problem. And in short, think about people, they have problems and people searching for solutions. They don't care how awesome you are. They don't care. For the independent freight dispatching, the course that I'm offering, if you can go to the website, there's a link below this video. You can take a look. The website, it talks about the problem and how we fix the problem. It's not about how awesome I am and how many channels I have, the number of subscribers I have. None of those. They don't care. But think about you right now watching this and listening to me. Think about, you don't care. You don't care how many students I have, how am I, helping them, how many years of, I'm in business. None of those. You don't care. The only thing you have right now is, hey, listen, the number one problem that I have right now is I want to get carriers. How? Show me how. See, that is the laser targeted audience that you want to target using Facebook ads. It could be the free organic outreach, something like that. But think about that is the problem. So we really quickly go to questions. If you guys have questions about the variations, to think about the problems of how to get carriers, and I'll spend maybe the next 5 minutes to helping you guys with your questions. You guys more than welcome to ask questions while I'm here, and obviously we'll be doing these live, the Q&A, or we can say live training every Tuesday. So even though I'm sick right now, so I'll just keep doing this. It will be doing every Tuesday at 5. So this is the kind of quick training how you can get carriers, and what are those problems getting the clients. So I do see, like, you guys have Zaki says, hello Kamal, I miss you. That you see here, miss you guys too. Thank you so much. So I don't see any questions coming up. I think you guys are awesome. You don't have any questions. Maybe you guys doing great. Let's see. I think we can help with this. Oh, there you go. The questions coming up. Awesome. Let them coming, and I'll do my best to help. So I have some drivers. However, I'm trying to get them loads. Okay, trying to get loads seems difficult. And let's talk about this. So you have drivers, and for those of you maybe new in this game, drivers, carriers, they have their drivers, meaning they own the truck and trailer, and then they hire a driver as an employee, and they drive carrier's truck, right? So, and then I can say I have drivers. If I'm a carrier, then obviously I have problems finding loads for my drivers. Or if you are an independent freight dispatcher, so you can say I have, let's say, owner operators or carriers, right? So now I know that you are an independent freight dispatcher and you're helping carriers. And now you have carriers, then you have problems finding loads. Think about why it's difficult. Like, do you have the right load board? For example, I do recommend, and we use in a lot of, about majority, I would say, our students, they're using DAT Load Board. And by the way, there's a 30-day free trial below this video. You can find, you can sign up, you can use, and there's 30-day free trial, no charge. So if you have So you are on a truck stop. So let me pull this. So you using a truck stop. So why is difficult? Meaning you have lows, but then you have problem talking to maybe brokers, how to negotiate. Maybe you don't have the script, something like that, or there's not enough loads, right? So there is, and obviously there are a lot of things can go, in a different ways, and why it's difficult for you. Since I don't have like the exact problem that you have, so you have a load board, and are you doing the right search? Are you filtering it? Maybe you can, let's say you can contact with brokers. Think about, and that is a totally, I would say that would be a topic for another day, how you can get brokers, meaning invite them to your website and obviously sign up with them and then get loads for your carriers that way. But you are signing up saying that, hey, this is my carrier, and then I just want you to be in our list, so that if there's loads, or there's some loads coming out of, let's say, Atlanta, Georgia, then you can help me, or you can email me, and here's my carrier's email. Think about, there's some legal things going on here, but just keep that in mind, that is another way getting loads from the brokers. And think about load boards. It's a platform where shippers and brokers, and majority of those loads posted by brokers, right? So let's talk about a little bit in why you can't, and why is a difficult for you. And I think you already asked here. Let me see. I'll take that. It's not enough loads that match the driver's need. Okay, so your driver might be in the driving market. That might be a reefer market. That might be a car hauler. So I don't know about your marketing. See, there are a lot of things going on, right? So maybe you can have 2 subscriptions. Let's say truckstop.com, and you can test DAT load boards and see what you can get loads from. Excuse me. And in the training we talk, I talk about the truck stop. They have their, the carriers, the specific market they're serving, the truck stop, and then DAT, they serve specific market, which is owner operators. Think about, if we get clear about this, how this 2 load boards can differ, it's enormous. Think about truckstop.com or truckstop as a company. Let's say they're serving carriers 5 or more trucks. Think about it. They're serving carriers. Now, DAT Solutions as a company, they serve specific market. What they call is a niche market. What is niche market? Niche market is owner operators. Owner operator is a guy who, or gal, it doesn't matter, owns a truck. The person owns a truck and trailer and drives himself or herself, right? And they're targeting specifically this market, right? So think about, I don't know your customer base, and I don't know your market, but think about, you can subscribe to another load board, and you can use and you can test and see how that goes. And obviously, there are a lot of things you can do with the load boards. There is a about hour and a half video about load boards. You can take a look, and if you're asking like Kamal, that now it's kind of hard to find loads for my drivers, or difficult to get loads because there's not enough loads. Yes, we have some problems in the freight industry right now. I'm not going into this. There are a lot of gurus out there that they talk about this, the problem, the supply chain problem. I'm not going to use like big words. I don't want to confuse you, but again, it will get better soon. But think about, yes, even back in the days, let's say about 5-6 years back, and think about, a lot of carriers, they had problems, and this is a market contraction where a lot of carriers suffer from not finding a loads. I mean, loads for their business. And I talked about, I can't remember, about, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago, I did a live. I talked about one of my friends who built a business, multi-million-dollar business, meaning he's in debt, right? Yes, he's generating revenues, but not millions of dollars for his business. So he was struggling, and he built a multi-million-dollar business off of a load board. And the single question was, man, what if he lose the load board? What if load board's gone 6 months from now? So you have millions of dollars you financed, meaning you have millions of dollars in debt. You finance your trucks. What will happen if like they're gone? Load boards are gone. You basically, what you do, you come every single morning, not including Sundays, and you just log into your load boards and you're searching for loads. You're not doing any marketing. See that? So if you're not finding loads, because you're not doing marketing. Hope that helps. So I do see, so this is the question from Rustam. How long it would take to become an independent dispatcher? I mean, dispatch training. Well, some people, well, think about it this way. And again, there are a lot of problems when you trying to become independent freight dispatcher. And one of the problems is if you don't know the business itself, how to run a business, obviously that is challenging. So you can become independent freight dispatcher. I can show you right now how you can log in to a load board, how you can search and how you can talk to your carriers. Then obviously, if you don't know how to run a business, maybe you don't have an experience, then obviously that gets challenging. So what we realize is that the one of the I think common problems is that people, even though we give everything to them, people don't have business experience. When I say business experience, they don't know about operations, they don't know about marketing. And think about, we just figured out that if you can't find loads using the load boards, obviously you're not doing marketing. Obviously, there are a lot of strategies out there how you can find loads without using load boards, right? But for those of you who really opt to load boards, yes, you will struggle. You will struggle finding loads. So, and how you can become independent freight dispatcher within a couple of weeks. I would say there are a lot of students that they, became a independent freight dispatcher within 2 weeks, within a week. They know how to dispatch. They have the script. They have everything, and then they're a pre-built website. They have everything for them, and in the scripts, how to talk to carriers, talk to brokers. Well, if you think that is how you can become a freight dispatcher, then well, yeah, you can become within a week. But then how you can run a business, it's totally different world. So you need to know the finance world. You need to know about finance world, meaning about a business. You at least need to know the profit and loss statement, balance sheet, cash flow. Those are important. But again, I'm not a CPA. I'm not going to go into numbers. But think about, those are really important, things inside your business. Think about operations, how you hire, how you fire. Think about the tools, the software you use, the systems, certain operating procedures or SOPs. And think about sales. Sales is a totally different world. And think about the marketing, right? Without the marketing, you can't go anywhere. Trust me. So hope that helps. Let me see. There are people from Azerbaijan. Hello to Azerbaijan. Let me, take this. Hi. So Badan says, hi, did you already release your tool in August? Okay, so dispatch-wise, guys, if you are an independent freight dispatcher, we are, and obviously we're adding more, inside this tool. Is basically, this is a turn-on key business. So there are a lot of moving pieces, but yes, we did release to the beta. Beta meaning a couple of our students using it. If there's some bugs, if there's some problems, and then we obviously was fixing it. It's not open to general public right now. But this, and obviously, it's a game changer. So you said in the past that you are working on something, it will be released. Yes. If yes, then it's okay. What's the name? A name is a DispatchWise. What it does, okay, if not yet, then when? Obviously, we don't have, exact date when we will release the tool that will be available to you guys. There are a lot of things that, we need to kind of add. One of the things is obviously the website that we just talked about, and we said, listen, even though we talk about this, there is a variation, there is an origin. This is the original website, this is the variation of it, and how you can test, how you can perfect this website so that you can get clients. And we said, think about, why don't we create a website for them, meaning in a templated, right? So you can just change a couple of things, and like you're up and ready within a couple of hours. You're not sitting and talking to website developer or the copywriters how you can just get this ball rolling. But we just said, why don't we just give it to them. So they will click, and then they will just basically install. There will be a couple of obviously steps. This is how you can buy a domain. So if you're not, then there's a video shows how you can connect this domain, and boom, you're ready within a couple of hours, and your business is on. And the next thing, obviously, teach how it's a platform, and inside we teach basically sales specifically how you can get carriers. So, and then obviously for the marketing, and we talked about the marketing specifically for website. We said, okay, so if your website is up and running right now, and this is the next step you're doing. So you're running Facebook ads. How? And this is the copy. So you're not even writing a sales copy. It's basically that is templated. You taking it and launching it. What's the goal? The goal, with this tool that we've been, working for at least for 4 years, at least 4 years. And then the goal is, yes, we can teach you how you can become independent freight dispatcher, but then the business side, or the business aspect of it, is missing. So why don't we package it and create a tool? So basically taking this business and turning on, and you running basically your business within a couple of hours. So, and I'll be posting some dates maybe next month. I'm thinking maybe this year, and then it will be available for the general public. So let's say thank you for the live stream and response. Absolutely, you're welcome. Let me see. Where should the load payment go to? Dispatch or a carrier? What's the best strategy for dispatch to get paid from a carrier? Awesome question. And again, guys, as you can see, I don't see the name. It just basically says that this is the tool that I use. I can't see the name, but great question. So the payment, you can. So there's two ways basically. One that I recommend, I'll talk about this, and one is basically you send an invoice to your carrier, right? So a carrier must get paid, and obviously when your carrier gets paid, then you send an invoice saying, hey, these are the loads that I booked for you last week, couple of weeks, and these are the load numbers. So here is an invoice, please pay. And for that, you can use something like, I don't know, QuickBooks, and there are a lot of tools out there that for free you can search, but this is how we can do, but then it's kind of risky getting paid from the carrier, right? So then what you do is you partner with a factoring company, and the factoring company that I recommend is the link is below this video. When I publish this video, that link will be available. And by the way, there is a full video how you can get paid. And then I have the interview with the Nick, he's the vice president. He's with the OTF Capital. That's the name for the factoring company. That is I think the only company that works with dispatchers directly, instead of like working a lot of carriers. I mean, the factoring companies out there, they're working with carriers and brokers, but the OTF Capital, they work with dispatchers as well. They directly work with dispatchers. So what you can do is you partner with the factoring company, you sign up with the OTR Capital, right? And again, information right below this video in the description. Then when you submit your documents, meaning proof of deliveries and BOL or bill of lading, and then what will happen is that the factoring company will take the percentage that you are charging for your carriers. They'll pay you first, then what's left, it goes to your carrier. Now, by doing this, and obviously I recommend this because you kind of secure it, and then you sure that you will get paid, right? So those are the two ways that you can get paid. Let me see. Avia says, any advice for beginners starting with flatbeds? Okay. Anything to look out for while booking a load for flatbed carriers and owner operators? Well, awesome question. One thing to look out is obviously your rate confirmation is your best friend. And if you are new, if you don't know what I'm talking about, the rate confirmation is the document that confirms the rate. It's an agreement between you and broker. You meaning your carrier, right? So your carrier and broker agrees on a rate, and then there are a lot of things on that paper, which is rate confirmation. Maybe there's an appointment, for example. there's a dimension, there's more information about the load. Maybe it required ramps, required tarps, whatnot. But I think what you need to look out is the double brokering. Just take a look close and see, compare to see that, if this broker is, his name that you booked is name on the rate confirmation. Well, obviously, I'm not going to confuse you, but there is, and again, the video, I think it's a double brokering. There's a video you can watch, and you can look out those things. And it's a scam that people just give it to you, then your carrier delivers, and that's it. Your carrier can't get paid because of the double brokering. So you look out, for that double brokering thing. And let me see. How do you get a carrier to give you the opportunity to work with them or for them when you're a new dispatch company? By just reading this, question, I'm assuming that you just joined live, but when we post, and you can, go back and, rewatch, and please don't skip and watch the entire video and see how we compare two websites, right? So your experience doesn't matter unless you can serve the carrier and solve the problem. Think about, maybe you just finished any course or training where somebody taught you how to dispatch, and you don't have any experience under your belt. It doesn't matter, as long as you excuse me, know that you can serve this carrier. That's the end game. So think about, we talked about these two websites, and if you're talking about the problems and how these problems can affect my business, and then you're talking about the solutions, and you can give the solution to me so that I can solve my problem, do you think my experience matter? Think about this way. Let's change the perspective. Think about, you just came across with my channel, and then you see that there's a guy talks about freight dispatching, and you're interested in about dispatching. Do you care how many experience I have or how many students I have? Like, we taught thousands of students, and trust me, 99% of the time, people don't even ask how many students you have, how many years of experience you have, meaning teaching people. So basically, they know that they have a problem. They want to start a profitable business, independent freight dispatching business. And if they feel that I can help them, they join the training, and then I teach them how to, run a profitable dispatching business. And I'm not even talking about, and when I'll give you, the precise example or exact example, and it relates to this. When I talk to carriers, I don't even, and I ask this, hey, like, how did you find, or how did you learn about this company, Dispatch Trucks or something like that? And they will say something like, I don't know, one of my friends told me that, hey, there is a company. I'm giving you an example. There's a guy, or there's a company that they can help you. They referred somebody, but they didn't watch any of my videos. That's what I'm trying to say. They're not connected with me, right? So they're kind of cold. And we schedule a call, and then we're talking about his business. He never asks, like, how many dispatchers you have and how many years of experience you have, and there's a reason why. Because I talk about his problems, and as you know, people love to talk about their problems, right? And then at the end, because it's an emotional thing, and then at the end, they want to fix their problems. And if you say like, oh, wow, so you listed X, Y, and Z, but I can serve, or I can help you with this part of your problem, and they don't even ask how many years of experience you have, and you have a client. And obviously, we talked about this many, many times, that getting carriers, I know, it's a simple, but it's not easy, right? Yes, you need to do some marketing, you need to know, some strategies, sales calls, whatnot. But think about, keeping them in the game is the problem for majority of our students and majority of people out there. And if you're running your business and you know that when you land a carrier, the retaining that customer for long enough, meaning at least 6 months or so, is a biggest problem, right? So that, I think that helps. But think about, retention is a problem. Getting carriers, it's not a big deal. So let me take this. Bain says, hi, I have set up a dispatching business. Okay, 3 months. 3 months ago, I have been marketing like crazy. And again, I don't know what crazy means, meaning in this marketing term, like, what do? What do you jump off the, I don't know, the cliff or something, the mountain, and you just say, hey, I'm a dispatch or something like that. But then text messages, ads on Craigslist, okay, Craigslist, Indeed, Facebook, and even cold calls. What am I doing wrong? Still zero carriers. Okay. And again, we talked about this, and I highly recommend going back and watching this video. And if you have a website, I think is the number one problem. I'm pretty sure. So if you're doing, like, as you said, quote unquote, marketing like crazy, I think the only thing you're missing, the problem is your website. So if you have one, that is the problem. So, you're more than welcome. You can send me an email. Um, I can scan your website if you wanted to. So let me go here, and then I will just, display the email. You can send me an email saying, hey, here's my website. Take a look, and I will give you a couple of, tips so that you can improve. If you need more, more training on this, and I think this is a training that you're looking for. So when I post this, so when I end the live training, go back and watch, because I gave you the number one tip that you ever need to get a carrier or land a carrier if you have a website. So if you're doing marketing like crazy, the only thing is missing is you need to redesign or re-edit or rebuild your website. That's I'm almost 100% sure that is the problem if you're doing everything, but then obviously nothing happening. So for the text messages, important thing is the copy. And again, what I see people doing, and obviously I was a kid, and a lot of people targeting me on Facebook because I'm on Facebook, and then people will say something like, hey, we've been in business so many years, we've been doing this, we're serving flatbed markets, we're car haulers, we get best paying loads, we have our own shippers, we have X, Y, and Z, we're great. And obviously I see that this won't perform. What obviously it catches my attention because I'm a carrier, or I was a carrier. So, and think about that. But then the formula for this is basically you're talking about the problem, how problem can affect their business, and then you give them a solution, and how the solution is actually they need to sign up with you so that you can offer your solution to them, right? The call to action is how they schedule a call with you, right? Hope that helps. Let me see if we have questions. Let's see. Any tips on retaining the carriers after they are on? Okay, basically you onboarded them. They are with you. So the thing is, number one thing is, obviously for different people it's different. This is what I see over the years. This is, I think, based on my experience. The one thing is, if you promised something and if you delivered, then your carrier will stay with you. Think about this. Let's talk about this more in detail. If my problem finding loads, so that if you solve this problem on a consistent basis, I get loads from you, then I buy more trucks, I expand. Why should I leave you? There's no reason for me to leave you, right? So if you know how to book loads, if you promised that you can, on a consistent basis, you can dispatch loads for about 2.5, meaning rate per mile, and I'm happy with that rate per mile, and you're doing consistently, why should I? Just think about it, right? So then obviously tip is always the customer first. You, like, every single day, like, you're with your carriers, you offer them a system, a process, so you make easier for them to work with you. This is crazy. A lot of people, they will get carriers, and obviously they will mess up. That in their business, meaning in independent freight dispatching business, there's no systems, there's no SOPs, meaning basically step-by-step document that says, hey, you need to do this and then this so that your carrier gets paid. no problem. So if the broker doesn't pay, what will happen? So basically, you have the systems in place. And think about, this is basically end of the world when the independent freight dispatching business itself, it's broken. Broken meaning there's no systems, there's no onboarding process, there's no marketing budget, they're not getting leads on a daily basis. They don't have the email list for brokers, they don't have email list for carriers, they're not generating leads. Basically, their marketing is messed up, sales messed up. And think about when they have a client that they don't have a systems as well. Like there's like systems broken. They don't know how to get hire a independent freight dispatcher. They don't know how to hire a driver, how to keep them. Their process is messed up, and independent freight dispatching company is messed up. How? There's no way to connect. Right? There's no connection. And think about it, if you set up your business in a way that it's like the closer to perfect, like you have all the systems ready, and you delegated some of the tasks to your team members, that's it. And then you can do exactly the same thing, and then you can, with your help, you can help your carriers fix their problems if they don't have, like, let's say, onboarding process. And we've been offering for years how to find a carrier, the driver, how to keep them in the game, meaning how you can reward them, the way you talk to them. And then obviously the copy, for example, you want to run Facebook ads, how you can get drivers, or Craigslist ads, and they don't know how to write an ad. And then we'll basically give them a template, and we're saying, hey, you post this, and somebody calls you, or they opted in for something, or they send you the application, and second thing is this, you send them thank you, and then X, Y, and Z should happen, and then you schedule a call, and then you talk to your driver. So once you get your driver, then you will set up a onboarding process. You can say, you can meet with one of my managers or team members, or maybe you, if you are the only person in your business, and you can say, I can walk you through how you can use tools like ELDs or whatnot. So see what am I getting? You're helping your carriers. And if you do this, and if your carrier realizes that this independent freight dispatching company really cares about me, there's no way that they can leave you. Okay, thank you so much. You're awesome and doing the great work. Absolutely. I really appreciate it. Awesome. Guys, thank you so much. And I hope to see you guys next week on Tuesday at 5 p.m. and then we'll go from there. Thank you so much for your questions. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.